This is me, Spoon Beast.
You've seen me list out all the positives of character requests in Dream Roster Fantasies over the last year or so now. And since I just came off a great Twitter discussion with my subscriber Joseph Solano, I've decided to go in a different direction this week and for the next few. Welcome to part 1 of the most ridiculous character requests that exist within the Smash community. Of course, these are my opinions, but at the same time, I really don't think too many of you will also have the opinion that any of these characters actually ever stood a chance of making the 4th game's roster either. Since there are so many characters of various franchises that aren't Nintendo that get requests that I think are silly, I'm gonna have to break this series down into parts. The first part will be focusing on arguably the most dumb category of character requests, at least in my mind. So, without further ado, part 1 will focus on none other than anime characters. This is a very common request by various fans here on the interwebs. I've noticed it a lot on my own videos that I've been doing to promote and spread hype for the 4th game, and for one, I just can't fathom why A, it's still a rampant request within the community, and B, why this particular group of fans thinks it's a reasonable request with a glimmer of hope to actually happen. Let's start off by disqualifying Pokemon, because that wouldn't have been an anime without the games, and it's Nintendo anyway. We're talking the big juggernaut anime stars, especially those that appeal to the Western audience, which is more of them than not. Let's particularly take a look at the characters I usually see the most requests for, which do include Gundams, but honestly, do I really need to reply to that with anything more than a simple roll of the eyes? First, we can start off with Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. As a person who has had some exposure to the manga of this particular series, I knew just who people were referring to when they said they wanted Monkey from One Piece to be in the game. Before I move on with this, the developers must have been enjoying some One Piece before putting Diddy Kong together for his big return to Smash, no? Anyway, let's move on. Monkey, like practically most epic anime stars, does a lot of fighting in his respective series. But what's his relation to Nintendo? Other than some titles appearing on Nintendo consoles based off the anime, can anybody tell me why he would deserve to be in a game with Nintendo All-Stars or video game legends? The same goes for Naruto and the cast of characters that join him. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen comments stating for people's hopes of Naruto making the game, or how a person's top 5 characters are all from the Naruto anime. I get it. You find them awesome. They fight in their show. But where is the video game lineage? How do these stars equal the level of heritage that Sonic, Mega Man, and even Snake in the last game possessed to justify their inclusions in Smash Brothers? Now, we get to the biggest what in the world character that gets requested for Super Smash Brothers just because of his anime popularity. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Son Goku. Yes, that's right. Goku of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z fame has been a highly requested Smash Brothers character for years. And even now, with the 4th game looming, he isn't one more shred possible than he was over a decade ago. Honestly, wouldn't the entire cast of characters in Smash be a little too easy for Goku? Based off what he's done on the shows, he'd easily dominate the entire roster. All it would take was one big blast and a boom. Hardly a challenge for old Kakarot, eh? I think the reason why so many requests for these type of characters happens is due to one big reason. And that big reason is Namco Bandai. Ever since they were announced as a helping development team to Sakurai's crew, I've noticed an increase in these character requests online. And not just on my videos either. I'm talking everywhere. But what these fans don't quite understand is that despite Namco Bandai having the license to develop games based off these franchises, they still don't own the intellectual property of said characters. The production companies do. End of story. Even if they did actually own the rights to use these characters in whatever way they fancied, This is a company who owns various video game properties that deserve it more and fit in better with the Smash universe. I mean, wouldn't it just be better entirely for the production companies to just license all these characters for one big crossover fighting game themselves? Therefore, the fans of One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, and all their main characters can have their own unique fighting fest that they can love and enjoy. Oh, it does exist, but only in Japan. Well, I guess you can either hope for a Western release, or maybe they take it further and develop a newer and bigger game for the worldwide audience. At least you can hope so. In the end, I'm sure as Smash Bros. Continues to exist and games be developed for it, there are always going to be various fans who request the most silly choices that have no chance at all at making the cut. But hey, there's no need for a fantasy to be legit. After all, unless of course you actually hold on to hope that those dreams become a reality. Stay tuned until next week and find out the next character category that I find to be the most ridiculous in part 2. As always, guys, it'd be greatly appreciated if you were to follow me on the Facebooks, Twitters, and Instagrams of the world. These social media outlets are always a great way of staying connected to me in between all of my YouTube activity. Also, do feel free to drop a comment on this video on my channel, or even add me on Skype to discuss all things you'd love to see from this channel and from video games in general, request a few ideas, etc., etc. On that note, I am a frequent co-host of the I Got Gameplay podcast for Fanboys Anonymous. It airs live every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so hope to see you all there and have a good rest of your weekend, folks. See you next week.